really good work today by our players. So what I'd done is we had low numbers for one age group. So because of the low numbers, like sometimes low numbers is fine. Players, I think, appreciate having different dynamic within the group. You know, maybe a bit more attention. Do you know what I mean? But I kind of gauged that on this occasion, maybe the players would welcome some more bodies around. Do you know what I mean? So we had a couple of sort of like guest players and a player who was coming to watch his brother who plays for one of our teams, and he wasn't expecting to train. Luckily for him, being a smart human, he had his boots with him anyway. And I'm not being funny. Listen, players, if you want a lesson to be learnt, always have your boots with you. Always boots, cleats, whatever. Just have them with you, whatever you want to call them. So it was really good that he had his footwear with him. And he joined in the session. You know, he wasn't expecting to be in the session because I'd said to him previously, you can't be in these sessions. They're not for you. So some parts of the session were a little bit slow. I think it's when players finish one action, they slow down the next action and they don't relate it to a game situation, a game concept where it's like, well, this will happen in a game where that action's finished, that one's just starting, this one's finished, there's another one that coming up, you know. So some parts of the session were a bit like that, where they finished one action. We worked a bit on a reaction practice, and it was just getting them to understand the next action had to also be of a similar velocity, or at least a purpose, so you're getting set to restart. But the game-related part of the practice was I thought was decent. You know, it wasn't perfect, but I think we'd worked out the purpose of what they were doing and why it was so challenging for young players to work with transitional practices. And also, I'd heard another coach. I was watching some video before the session, and the coach was quite critical of transitional practices where we use mini goals, and you know, not everything's going to be perfect. Not everything's going to look like a game, and sometimes it's fine. It's serviceable to have a game-like concept which has an end result which is a small goal. You know, sometimes it's nice just to have a small goal and a destination which isn't like, you know, sending it into a target player because the goal wouldn't be there in the game. It's like sometimes it's like, well, that's a low focus, you know. So I was thinking about the session in terms of the critique of using the small goals and how it related to a game, but I kind of made sense of it in terms of deciding that sometimes it's perfectly fine. It's not always going to be exactly like an 11v11 or 9v9 or whatever you play. Sometimes it's just decent for players to regain possession and have an outcome which is the ball smashing the back of the net. Do you know what I mean? Players did really, really well, and it's not like the entire session was great. It wasn't. But I think from a perspective of the dynamics within the group, atmosphere seemed decent. How the players were treating each other seemed decent as well, considering the levels were a little bit varied. And also the energy levels within the group, they recognised how to pick it up, and that's, you know, if you start at a low ebb, I think the important thing is how this session finishes, you know. And I think they did a decent job, so well done to them, you know.